Hello, everybody. I'm David Frangioni, CEO of Modern Drummer. We're here backstage, and I'm joined by such a great guest and such an iconic talent, Corey Feldman.
Thank
Great
you,
to see
sir.
you, Corey.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm such a fan of all that you've done.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you,
really,
man.
you
Well,
really, you're. I have to say, just really an innovator and a genius, and everything I know about you is pretty impressive stuff that you've created and influenced this industry with. So I thank you for your endeavors.
thank you. That means the world to me because I'm a lifelong fan of your work.
Oh, thank you.
Genuinely.
I appreciate
and
that.
you know, of course, starting with your films when you first came on the scene, and now in music. And it's so hard to be good at something and then successful at it, especially in entertainment. And now you've done it twice. You've and in two related lanes, but uniquely challenging. And what when you look back on that, what's some of the fuel to get you, to take your art and take all that you've worked hard at being and turn it into a really successful career?
Well, I'll tell you. First of all, when it came to music, a lot of people don't realize this, but I started singing before I started acting. And that's a story I feel like I need to kind of get out there more. I've said it a few times, but it's one of those things that's hard for people to fathom. But as a kid, I didn't decide to be an actor. My family decided that for me, as a means for an end to earn income so that they didn't have to do normal jobs. My father was a musician, and so what
What did
happened?
he play?
Oh, he was a lead singer, and he played bass, and he wrote as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So anyway, he was actually in the second rendition of the Strawberry Alarm Clock. So they would go out there and tour, but he also had his other bands, and they were playing Magic Mountain in California, Six Flags, and I would go out there with him every weekend. But anyway, in the beginning, I wasn't going out and auditioning and reading lines because 3-year-olds don't know how to read lines, right? So there is no 3-year-old reading lines. There is no, memorizing something and impressing people that way. So instead, what you do is try to be as cute as you can, because all they want to see is, can you take direction and can you be cute? And so my mom had the idea like, hey, let's have him sing for his auditions. So what I would do is I would go into my room with a record player, and I would learn these little kind of, fable type songs, almost like folk type music, like Jim Croce, or Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, or things like that. Cute songs that a kid would sing, and I would go in there and I would sing, and that's how I would get my jobs. And then, as it turned out, I did a few commercials, but my first real television job was actually a musical, a live musical performance with Dick Van Dyke, and it was singing and dancing throughout the whole thing. It was called How to Eat Like a Child. And we had to do choreography, and we had to sing and these big dance numbers and singing numbers. And so that was really how my career started. And then, from there, of course, it took off with all the TV and movies and stuff. But I was always writing in the background. I was always singing. I was always dancing. I was always building on my career. And, there were a lot of people who didn't want to accept it because I got that fame first as an actor. I still have that. I mean, there's still people out there who want to say that it's not real, or it's, how can he do it, or whatever, go back to acting, all that kind of stuff.
Well, they don't understand. And the passion, when you're that age and you're auditioning, you're doing other things, but you're learning the songs that you mentioned, and you're singing, and your dad is, an influence on you. And
Right.
there
And
it is at your house.
my sister was in the Mickey Mouse Club. So she was always on stage, my whole childhood. So I'd go out and I'd see my dad one day singing and playing guitar.
Right.
I'd go out and see my sister singing on stage with fans going crazy. So that's all I knew. It was a natural progression for me. Very much like, the Osmonds or the Jacksons,
Sure.
it was just that kind of a family, right?
Right.
And so we trained and we studied and we did all of that. I just didn't take professional lessons in any of it. I did take singing lessons a little bit. I did take tap dance. I did take, a few things, but I was never really into them. Like I really didn't like any of it, to be honest, until I turned 11. And then I saw MJ do Billie Jean, and that kind of just flipped a switch on. And then from that point on, I started like learning how to dance, teaching myself how to dance, teaching myself how to, sing, which, I went to these recording studios where you could go and make little karaoke versions of songs, and I would record just to hear my voice, just to work on my pitch control, just to work on my
Wow.
breath control. And I would do it over and over. I had hundreds of these tapes of me doing other people's karaoke songs, until I finally felt confident enough to start putting my own song and my own voice out there.
And you truly loved it then, because we're talking about, for context, this is not with mobile phones, and this is not like in 5 minutes you have all of these tools available to you.
No.
This is the long road, but the only road.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to perfect
so
it.
it started with me, going and finding producers and people who I could use their studios, I could use their sessions, and
That's
would
a
go
lot
in
of
and-
work.
Yeah, we'd go in and we'd have them, okay, give me a drum machine, and they'd show me how to make a beat, and then I'd start making the beat I wanted. So I started right away with making my own beats. That was always something that I really felt natural with. That was always the thing. I was good at beatboxing. Michael showed me how to do that, so I was really good at beatboxing. But I was also, I've always had that natural knack to just put rhythm together, to put beats together, and then eventually became a drummer as well, right? But that took time. It was a progression to that.
Right.
But anyway, so I started writing at 15 and using other people's stuff, and eventually now here we are, all these years later. I have my own studio. I have my own label. I mean, Fred Durst slept on my studio floor, for God's sakes. I've had such great artists come through the doors. I've had the opportunity to produce people like Mickey Thomas from Starship with such an impeccable, incredible voice. And I felt like such an honor to be able to like produce him. And he was so great. He was so great. Oh, but people like that, people like Corrupt, the rapper, just great people that I've had this great opportunity to work with and produce in some cases and write with in some cases. But it's been a beautiful thing. And going on stage with people that I would never expect, like Ringo Starr invited me up one night, or James Brown invited me up to dance with him, just crazy stuff like that. So I've had a really checkered but blessed career. That's all I can say.
Well, and it's filled with passion.
Yes,
That's
always
the thing
passion.
that it's to
Always
me so
passion.
enlightening in spending this time with you and realizing that, yes, the movie side of it was so successful and reached so many people, that the music side of it, unless we have these moments and we can share this with the world, a lot of people don't have the insight into what your journey's really been like.
Yeah,
because it's
true.
not just
It's
about
true.
movies.
And people always think like, oh, he's just decided to get into this. He's not sincere about it. He's not real about it or whatever. And it's like, no, people, this is something I've done my whole life. And the words that I put out there in every single song matter very deeply to me. And it hurts me and it disturbs me actually quite deeply when I read these stupid online things where they print all my lyrics supposedly and they're all wrong, and it's like, no, I put great detail into every single word and every bit of meaning that I put out into the world, because I would never just write some trash and throw it out there. That's my whole purpose for being. That's the whole reason why I do what I do, because I'm trying to convey a message of positivity. I'm trying to, hopefully share something, a seed of wisdom or a message from God or whatever it is, but I'm trying to share it, and I'm hoping that it's going to reach people on a deeper level. And that's what music is for. It's to lift our spirits. That's the whole purpose, the deepest root, the deepest seed, the meaning and the derivative of the purpose of music is to lift our souls, to lift our spirits, and to help us rejoice. And so, for it to do anything else, I think is a shame.
Hi, it's David Frangioni, CEO of Modern Drummer. Thank you for leading our drumming community and being such a significant and important part of everything we do here at Modern Drummer. We're so excited. Please hit the subscribe button to Modern Drummer's YouTube channel. It's just hit it below. Be part of everything we're doing every day, every week, every month. Also, check out our shop. It's so exciting for drummers to check out. We got back issues. Got some incredible drummers. We've got shirts. We've got hats. We've got notebooks. We've got education. It's all there. If you love drums and drumming like I do, and I'm sure you do, and all of us at Modern Drummer are so passionate about, you got to check out the shop at moderndrummer.com. And please, again, hit the link and subscribe to the Modern Drummer YouTube channel. I'll see you again soon. Well, and it would be a shame because the gifts that you have and that you give to the world and through your art in because it takes various forms, it's like we just got to amplify the message louder, because the fact is that what you have created in music is not something that you did after acting. If people heard about it after they saw a movie of yours, that's not your fault.
That's right.
That didn't change
and not only
history.
That, but it really, the career, the success of it started with the movie soundtracks, because that's really how I got out there. My exposure, the first one was "Dream a Little Dream" back in 1987. My first song that I ever wrote and released to the mainstream, to the public, was "Something in Your Eyes," which came out on vinyl in 1987, I believe, or 88. I don't remember. And that was with Michael Damian. And Michael Damian and I co-wrote that with the Weir brothers who produced it. And I mean, just great production, amazing song. And, that was the first single. And yeah, so much fun. So I've been doing it since then. So if people were paying attention, you'd remember that I had films like Rock and Roll High School Forever, where I produced and wrote a lot of the music in it. Or Dream a Little Dream 2, where I produced, a couple songs for the soundtrack. And actually, my song Perfect Woman is actually the base of the score throughout the whole film. So yeah, I mean, I've been very musically involved in all of my films the whole way along, really.
And artistically, you are a creator, you're an artist. You've led us a little bit into your childhood, and as we've talked today, where, your family really, besides the genetics of having your family be so artistic, the whole environment that you were in, it was all about entertainment. It was all about artistry, creation. Your dad, your sister, I mean, it was just, it was fertile ground. But your passion for it is what's persisted through today. Right, you can be in an environment like that and be a doctor. Listen, because that was a different calling.
That's absolutely right. And the thing is this, as an actor, I always felt like, well, this is something that I was told I had to do. It's something that I was kind of forced to do. So I did it as a means to an end. That was my day job. And music was what I did for my soul. Music is what I did for my heart. Wow. And that's the way it's always been. And when I decided to go full force into music, I'll never forget when my first CD, Love Left, which is now a classic, and we've made a box set, and the box set is sold well, and all that stuff. But back in the day, when I first put that first album out, I used to give it out for free because there was no way anybody was going to pay for it. So I would give it out to free to other people in the industry, to musicians and to actors that I was fans of or whatever. And I would give it out to people I knew, and I would say, listen, enjoy it if you can. If you don't like it, use it as a frisbee or a cup holder or whatever you want to do with it, But that's how I felt about it. Because to me, it was like, look, it's for my friends, it's for me, and for people to enjoy that I know and love. And then all of a sudden, I started getting into movies, and then it was like, okay, well, cool. Now people are coming up to me saying, I know this song or that song. That's pretty cool. All right. And it was just this really, really slow building process. But whenever I did a concert, it was always sold out. That was the thing. No matter where I did a concert, it was always sold out. But a lot of times people just didn't know the music. They didn't even know what they were coming to hear. They didn't know if I was going to get up and be funny and do comedy, or if I was going to just dance for an hour, or what I was going to do. But everybody started to learn, okay, it's real music. They're actually good songs. And my fan base grew very under the radar for a long time, and I've got this kind of worldwide fan base and I haven't even gotten to tap it yet. I mean, we haven't even gotten a European tour. We haven't gotten an Asian tour, a Canadian tour. We need to do this because we get every single day, people requesting from England, from France, from Germany, from Spain, from Sweden, from Israel, from, China, from Russia, everywhere. People want us to come everywhere, and we want to. We want to play Egypt. We want to play everywhere.
Well, thank God you're such a young guy, and
well, I'm only 22.
Well, yeah, and you don't look a day over it. The fact is that you there's still plenty of runway. When you look back on your life and career, I mean, it's just so unbelievable the what you've done, what you've created, and what you've given the world. And it's true. What's one of your greatest memories for whatever reason? What's one that really stands out?
I think we're living them every day. I mean, really, you know, I have some great memories, great experiences, but honestly, I mean, look what I'm doing right now. I wrote this song. It's so simple. I don't know if we're sorry, I don't know if we're performing it tonight. But maybe tomorrow night. But either way, it's a song that I wrote when I was 15. It's like one of the very first songs that I ever wrote. And I wrote it with this idea of like it being an anthem, like a rock anthem, an arena rock song where you could just see everybody in the arena with their lighters up and singing along. And like, that's what it is. That's what it's made for. And now here we are, 34 years later.
Playing those very arenas.
Yes. And finally, my manifestation has evolved into reality. And that is what passion is all about. That is what dreaming is all about.
Yeah.
That is what making it is all about. So if you want to persevere, if you want the stick-to-itiveness to be able to become that thing that you want to be, then you have to believe it in every living fiber of your being. No matter how many people kick you when you're down, no matter how many people slam the door on your face, no matter how many people tell you you're never going to make it, no matter how many people call you a joke once you've succeeded, it doesn't matter. Because if you believe in that dream, you have to follow that dream and you have to give it every single ounce of energy that you can. Because guess what? If you water the seed enough, it will eventually grow. And mine was the slowest growing seed that eventually evolved into the world's fastest career. So I was a success overnight after 35 years.
and so that I take from that, because it's profound and it's awesome because I believe what you said. I believe that is
Well, you know it. You've lived it yourself.
Well, where we're in common on that is that every day is the gift. Yeah. Every day is the opportunity to manifest and make a new reality even bigger, better, and just kind of learn from yesterday, but don't marinate in it. Just, move on to, the goals of today. And it sounds like that's your view.
Yeah. Well, the song that I was talking about is called It's So Simple, because it's as simple as we want it to be. And that's what manifestation is all about. It's about realizing that we can all have whatever we choose. We can all make whatever reality we want to live in, but we have to believe in it and we have to make it work. We have to just put the energy into it. And it's that simple. At the end of the day, it's all that simple.
It's so simple. Well, I believe. Yes. Yeah. And well, you know what?
My drummer's ready.
Drummers are always ready, right? And we're modern drummers, so we know all about that. Look, I believe.
Did you catch the show in Toronto? I got to play on.
I heard from Justin, right, who helped us put all this together today. He's great. Thank you, Justin. That your drummer couldn't get into the country.
Yes, that's right. And Justin and I took care of the responsibilities.
You took care of business, and you drummed. And there's so much more to cover. I mean, we're modern drummer. We're just getting started on the drumming side of it. That was an awesome memory, though, and I'm glad you brought that up. It's awesome that on top of singing, fronting, acting, creating, producing, everything that you've put your life's work into, and then now there's drumming. And it's something that it's something you're obviously passionate about.
Oh yeah. I mean, I play on basically the first 4 or 5 songs on the new album. So, at least a third of the album I'd say is me playing live. And then most of the rest of it is me programming or a guest drummer, which we have some pretty dynamic guest drummers. So,
You've got to get on stage. Corey's about to go in front of a massive crowd here in West Palm Beach and play music.
That's right. Even if it rains on us, we're going to rock and roll tonight.
And I want to invite you back when we have a little more time to talk further. You're an inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
You're an incredible artist. And if people will just take 5 seconds to really open their ears to what you're doing musically and what's really happening and the history that you have and evolving to where you are today, then it's as obvious as that. There's really, it's just about education. It's just about people being open-minded to understanding who you are as an artist and not letting a stereotype of being a very successful actor, just blind them to the fact that you can be both. And in your case, the most ironic thing is music is first. That's the crazy thing. Like, that's the twist in the plot.
That's
it's
exactly
like,
right.
It's exactly like right. They think they know it all. Like, oh, he's an actor and now he wants to do music. No, he's a musician who acted and he's always done music.
Acting was my day job.
Right. And man, we're glad that you are, taking music as far as you are.
Thank you for those kind words, because I couldn't have said it better myself. That really was a great description of my energy and what I'm trying to achieve in this world. But I am blessed and grateful by the grace of God to be able to be here to perform every night. And it can only go up. It can only get better.
Yeah, and it will, and it is.
And we'll do it again.
Corey Feldman. You heard it. We're doing it again. I
go.
Can't wait for it. You guys are going to love it. I'm David Frangioni from Modern Drummer. Corey Feldman. Check him out on tour. Check out his box set. Check out what he's up to. It's freaking awesome. We love you, Corey.
Thank you.
And I know
God
the audience
bless.
does too, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you. Much love to you all.